¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. Is it Tuesday already? Yes, Tuesday. Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday indeed. Michael Hasser, cat video due. Okay, we have a cat in studio, so I can bring out a live cat, or we can find a cat video. Democratic Senator Fetterman delivers star making takedown of Republican policies and corporate greed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's SNAP is a supplemental nutrition assistance program. Republicans want to make it harder to access the life-saving program as part of their ongoing war on the poor. True. That is true. Lauren Boebert files for divorce. No surprise there. So much for the party of family values. Look at that. Maybe it was never about that. They just try to force their idea of family values onto us. It's not for them to follow. Correct. Correct. It's about control. Like just to like put a little like asterisk on that. It's really about control because clearly they don't give a shit about family values. You know. Randy Rainbow video mocking DeSantis and the GOP is great. Twitch streamer need music filter to avoid the DMCA. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not playing any of that. Alright, folks, we gotta get started. We can start with one video and then go from there.
Progressive group Justice Democrats, which of course helped to elect AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, among many others in Congress, have now officially moved to a 4-day work week for their employees.
Based.
Practicing what they preach. So this began back in August as a trial, and it was so successful that they have now made it permanent. And as I'm going to show you here, there have been many trials. All the data supports this. This is reminding me of...
Yeah, like, just to be clear, what he's talking about is, like, in other places, in other countries that are more advanced than us, they have reached this conclusion already based on their trials. And like, no shit. It has been a wild success. I think a handful of companies might have done pilot programs here, but most of them have been in European countries. Ander, thank you. Ander S. I'm not even going to try. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome. The upcoming disaster that will damage the most Americans in the world is the row over the debt ceiling. I mean, it is a problem in the immediate. Yeah, it is a problem.
Various other issues, whether it's Medicare for all, whether it's the legalization of marijuana, where All the science, all the data supports it, yet it is taking forever for society to adopt it. So let me first get to the announcement here from Justice Democrats, which write on Twitter. We heard Bernie Sanders talking about a 4-day work week, so we decided to try it for ourselves. We're fighting for a world where everyone can enjoy a 3-day weekend without having to worry about their next paycheck. So as I'll get to here, this benefits not even just the workers, but also the bosses. It benefits the capitalists and the workers. There is no downside for anybody here. Yet still, there is a heated debate on whether or not this should be implemented. And of course, the right wing are very anti 4-day work week, even though it would benefit them.
Yeah, like because they can't see past their like dogmatic idolization of capitalism. That's it. That's literally it. Here's an example. Professional clown and propagandist, far-right propagandist Ben Shapiro, after Bernie Sanders makes a statement, it's time for us to move for a 30-hour work, the 4-day work week. With no loss in pay, we can reduce the stress level in our country and allow Americans to enjoy a better quality of life. True. It's just factually correct. But of course, facts don't get in the way of Ben Shapiro's feelies. So he replies with a massive straw man. It is time for us to move to a 0-hour work week with products of infinite variety and impeccable quality, all created via unicorn farts. None of which was mentioned in the original tweet. Like, you can't even pretend to at least attempt to address the argument being made, the point being made here, because he knows he's wrong. He knows he's wrong. That tweet's bad enough, but the real damning thing is a 65... Yeah. All these people completely incapable of any critical thinking. Like, he listed the tweet right here. He's responding to the tweet. Nobody has said to move to a 0-hour work week. And then has, like, the audacity to then add on that the most amazing thing about capitalism is that Bernie Sanders has been absolutely useless. That's fucking rich coming from him. If not outright counterproductive for his entire adult life, is worth millions of dollars. Yes, a standing senator who has been a senator for decades, finally, at the golden age of, what, like 80-something? He has managed to accumulate 3 properties. Anyways, some of the comments don't disappoint, but yeah. This is a good meme. What Sanders doesn't understand is that people's labor is a product. Companies pay people in exchange for their time and productive output. Do they? If you produce less or work fewer hours, companies can't pay you the same amount. A, that's not true. B, if that was the case, then we should be making a fuck ton more money. Because we, with less time, are producing more and yet not being paid more. Is anyone claiming that the 4-day working week will not require more total people in the national workforce? No, I don't think that's even a issue. Why would it require more people in the labor force? And the Twitter right-wing pundits, except even dumber than thought. Yeah, like, well, no, he's doing this on purpose. Ben Shapiro knows what he's doing. Anyways.
So, more here from The Guardian. As they write, although few American companies have adopted a 4-day working week, the idea is not novel. France has mandated a 35-hour work week since 2000, and some French politicians have called for lowering that threshold to 32 hours.
High production requires sadness. I don't know what that means.
Iceland has also seen success in its trials of a 4-day, 35-hour working week. In comparison, Americans work an average of 43.1 hours per week, according to a 2022 Gallup survey. Critics fear that the shift to a 32-hour work week could increase employers' labor costs and further decrease employee productivity at a time when American workers' output has slumped. Data compiled by the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows U.S. productivity declined for 3 straight quarters last year, although labor output has still increased by nearly...
High production requires sadness is Bernie's comment about increasing happiness. I still don't understand. Like, are you saying that working, like high production, like we can have a higher production output without being so without having all of this work? In other words, we can produce more now with less time, so there's no need for it.
Nearly 500% overall since 1947. So I appreciate that what The Guardian does here, because they're giving you both sides, right? But they're also giving you context. So it's just funny to me that the other side of this argument as well, it declined, productivity declined for 3 straight quarters. Not even like years, just parts of a year. 3 straight quarters in a year. And within that context as well, overall, output has increased by 500% since 1947. So to show you that in from the Economic Policy Institute here in their data, the gap between productivity and a typical worker's compensation has increased dramatically since 1979. So you can see how productivity here continues to increase at a steady pace, while wages stagnate around 1980. And I mean, this shows you that Americans could use a giant dip in productivity and still not match where wages currently are. So the idea that it slumped a little bit for 3 quarters, I mean, it probably wouldn't even be noticeable on this graph. But again, this goes to
Inspired.
Ah.
Where beauty is inspired.
Nope.
As I'll get to, this is still a 4-day work week still benefits employers as well. So this from The Guardian again, quote, "I'm highly productive during my work hours, and honestly, I procrastinate less," said Becca Rast, a managing director at Justice Democrats. "It allows me to have a tighter, more focused work schedule, which I really thrive under." Trial studies of companies with 32-hour working weeks have shown similar results. One pilot program launched in the UK last year found that employees who worked fewer hours per week reported higher levels of job satisfaction, while 23 participating companies witnessed an average revenue increase. Yes, a revenue increase of 1.4%. When the program concluded, 56 out of 61 organizations said they would keep the policy in place, at least temporarily. So before I even finish off this piece, when you have the companies themselves saying this was so successful that we are going to keep it, the vast majority of them continuing a 4-day work week, this proves that this did not hurt them. Because they're in control here. These aren't, worker co-ops. These are companies saying we will continue only making our employees come in 4 days a week because this was successful for us. Again, what's the downside? And in fact, there's on average a revenue increase. So there's either, no difference at all, which seems to be the case in the plurality of cases. But if there is a change, for most, it has been an increase in revenue. So we're talking increased job satisfaction, reduced stress levels, reduced burnout, people having more time for themselves and their family, and on top of that, increased revenue for these organizations. Now, as they write here, the reduced stress levels among those with shorter working weeks can also help reduce employee burnout and turnover, ultimately making companies more productive in the long run. The UK pilot program found that 39% of employees with reduced working hours reported feeling less stressed, and 71% said they had reduced levels of burnout by the end of the trial. This is just a win-win-win. There is no downside to this at all. Again, it's reminding me of many issues where all the science, all the data supports it, and it benefits everyone, and still, it takes a long time for society to adjust. Now, from the Bernie Sanders piece here, quote, "It's time to reduce the work week to 32 hours with no loss in pay," Sanders wrote in a Guardian op-ed earlier this month. "It's time to reduce the stress level in our country and allow Americans to enjoy a better quality of life. It's time to make sure that working people benefit from rapidly increasing technology, not just large corporations that are already doing."
True. Michael Hassler, I have a guest for you. All right, the cat's gonna chill and make and do the news with us.
Doing phenomenally well. So there is this idea, at the start of the tech boom, that all of this technology would benefit workers because it would take the stress off the workers. They wouldn't have to work as many hours, and they would hopefully still make the same amount of money. Of course, that didn't happen. I mean, they still made the same amount of money, as in their wages didn't increase, but their productivity increased. They had to work longer hours. So this is a way to offset what has happened, or at least help offset a little bit what has happened over the last 30 years with the massive gap between productivity and wages. Now, as was referenced earlier, Iceland also did a pilot program. This was over 4 years, and it was an overwhelming success. And as I referenced earlier as well, the UK did it, showing it improves health, finances, and relationships. It simply makes you happy. And a chart here from the UK data shows that how smooth the transition was and how happy these companies were. So in terms of how smooth the transition was to a 4-day work week, the vast majority say either smooth or extremely smooth. How did it affect business productivity? The majority say it was either neutral or improved productivity. And how likely is that you will implement the 4-day work week? 86%. Again, these are companies being surveyed, not the workers. The companies were happy with the results. There is no downside for anybody here. Just do it. Like, this really should be a policy, though it would have to be done in a way where, there's a rollout. You can't just, flip a switch and make everyone on one day all of a sudden work 4 days. There has to be a planning stage to do something like that. But whether it's through policy, whether it's through these companies themselves deciding to do what is right and what's going to also benefit them, this is something that every single company should look at. Especially if you're like in a small business. I mean, if you see this video, maybe send this to your boss. Send this data, send this video, try and bring this idea up, because it's not only going to benefit you and the employees working there, it's also going to benefit your boss.
True. All right, so switching gears really quickly. No, not this. Nope, not this either. All right, cool. 3 people are being charged with felony intimidation of a police officer, a Georgia law that's never been used before, for allegedly, and this is true, placing flyers notifying residents that their neighbor is a SWAT trooper involved in the killing of the protester. They face 20 years for posting a flyer. Two of the 3 arrested for allegedly flyering Trooper Jonathan Salcedo's neighborhood were granted $20,000 in bond and bond in a bail hearing before Bartow County Superior Court Judge Suzanne Smith, according to the court reporting by the Atlanta Community Press Collective. Their bond conditions are reported to include no contact with anyone involved with the Defend the Forest movement and no contact with the 6 troopers implicated in Tehran's killing. The 3rd arrestee was reportedly denied bond because Georgia Deputy State Attorney General John Fowler alleged he received reimbursements for protest-related expenses from the Forest Defense Fund and were being investigated for the alleged political affiliation with the Defend the Forest movement. What the hell does that have to do with anything? After months of waiting, it appears the activists and the community members have begun stepping up to provide transparency themselves. On April 28th, 3 people are arrested in Bartow County for allegedly providing the public with information about the officers who killed Tortuguita at the neighborhood level. The 3 are accused of distributing flyers naming one of Tortuguita's suspected killers, Jonathan Augusto Salcedo, who lives in a small bedroom community. How is this intimidation? The 3 charged with intimidate law enforcement officer/family in retaliation to discharge of duties by force, a felony and misdemeanor stalking during a bond hearing. But that's not stalking, though. It's not like they're following this trooper around. The felony intimidation charge carries a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, depending upon which section of the state prosecutor plans to apply. The part of the statute that is specific to law enforcement officers carries a minimum sentence of 1 year and maximum sentence of 5 years, as well as a $5,000 fine. Warrants filed in the case do not specify which section they are applying. After the incident, Salcedo told prosecutors that he, quote, felt harassed and intimidated by individuals handing out these flyers. Yeah, okay, dude. Whatever. These motherfuckers have lied throughout this entire fucking incident, so yeah, I don't know, dude. And criminal arrest warrants filed in Bartow County, prosecutor accused all 3 arrestees of providing flyers in the neighborhood that Jonathan Salcedo on mailboxes that were claiming that he was a murderer to an incident occurred in Atlanta. They also stated that that said accused was in Highland Point neighborhood where Jonathan Salcedo resides and did knowingly and willfully, without consent and with the purpose of harassing and intimidating Jonathan Salcedo, make contact with individuals in his neighborhood through flyers with no legitimate purpose. Well, you would have to have like evidence of them doing that. Distributing pamphlets is not intimidation unless those pamphlets had some kind of like threats in them. Or unless those pamphlets had some kind of call to action. Then this is bullshit. Imagine facing like really bad charges for distributing a pamphlet. This is after the fact that this officer was involved in the killing of a protester. Worst of all, these fucking pieces of shit shot this person, and no evidence ever has been presented at this time to indicate that they even fired a weapon like supposedly the police report said. All evidence points to the contrary. All physical evidence points to the contrary. Bipedal Meatbag, how's it going? House Times just put forth a resolution to expel George Santos. Yep. But I don't think I don't think McCarthy's gonna do anything about it. I just got here and I'm used to making that kind of entrance in other chats. Not appropriate of me. No, you're good. You're good. Welcome. So that's nice. Apparently you can face felony charges for distributing pamphlets now. Alright, we have a cute animal redemption, and then we're gonna move on. Just gonna lower that in case. This one came up in my feed and I thought it was good. Look at the baby bear. Red panda.
Hey Chase, can we take away
Oh, that's adorable. That is so cute. Okay, I think we'll end it on that one.
So, I have some news for you. And since it's Ramadan, you're going to be fasting the full 30 days. What do you think? No, it means that you can't eat until sundown. As soon as 7 o'clock hits, you'll be able to eat your food. You're full. Dude, you'll be fine. You only have to do it for 30 days. 30 days and then it'll be over. Come on, you can handle it. Come on.
Obviously, this is a joke, but no, you should not fast your cat, okay? That's funny. Alright, so there's the cute animal video. There's the cute animal video plus the cat video. Plus, there's a live cat currently on my lap, so you get all the three specials. All right. Democratic congressman introduces resolution to expel Santos. Representative Robert Garcia of California introduced a resolution on the House floor Tuesday afternoon to expel Representative George Santos. Echo Rest Dragon, how's it going? Thanks for sharing. It is funny, but yes, I agree. I was hoping it wasn't too inappropriate, but I couldn't resist. No, I know this channel. I've watched this channel for a while. No, I don't. It's a joke. I've watched the channel with their cat Chase. But yeah, no. They take good care of the cat. I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. Representative George Santos be and hereby is expelled of the House of Representatives. You excelled yourself today. True, you all got like so many cute animal videos. House Republicans can schedule this vote within 2 legislative days, but are likely to table it. It would need 2/3 majority to pass. Santos has told ABC News while leaving the House floor, whatever happens, innocent until proven guilty. That's not a... Oh boy, that's not a very confident statement there. Jesus. He added that he hasn't seen the resolution yet and he hasn't had the conversations with leadership. Santos was indicted on May 10th on 13 criminal counts, including 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives, federal prosecutors in the Eastern District of New York said. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. I have my right to fight to prove my innocence. Wait. No. The prosecution has to prove that you're guilty. But, okay. That's kind of a weird statement, then. Why would you have to prove your innocence if you did nothing wrong? Anyways, Santos told of a mass of reporters who gathered outside the courthouse on Long Island. House Republican leadership has stopped short of calling for Santos to resign, but at least 12 House Republicans have said that Santos should resign or be expelled from Congress, including many Republican lawmakers from New York. But when it comes down to it, they're not going to get rid of him. Not willingly, anyways. What's the matter, kitty? House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, Freudian slip moment, exactly. Last week said he would not support Santos' bid for re-election and said that if the House Ethics Committee recommends that he resigns, then McCarthy would agree with that recommendation. But if he's found guilty and the Ethics Committee says they shouldn't, whatever. Garcia said his resolution to expel Santos is about putting Republicans on the record. There hasn't been action, and so now's the appropriate time to make sure that Republicans are on record if they're going to actually stand by someone that is a serial liar and a fraud. And they're going to have to record a vote, and the American people will be watching their votes. No, they won't. They don't give a shit. Right, it's not the same, so it's a curious statement as to why he even needed to make that comment to begin with. And he should know this, but whatever. Garcia already introduced a resolution to expel Santos at the start of his congressional session, but after inaction on the legislation, he is now offering a privilege motion in hopes to speed up the timeline on a vote. It's not redundant, they already support Trump. True! My hope has always been that he would resign, so I think that the initial expulsion resolution was building to, ideally, the speaker talking this up in the ethics committee, which is what should have happened, but there is no action in ethics to take up the resolution. Yeah, well, ethics and Republicans. Yeah, my hopes, okay, so Speaker McCarthy obviously has empowered George Santos on a variety of votes. Because that's the whole point. It's about power. McCarthy needs every single vote he can get. Because of the razor-thin majority that he has. Garcia deferred questions about the timeline and likelihood of it passing to McCarthy and other members of the Republican leadership. I think we'll see what the House leadership is going to decide, and what the votes will actually be. I think it's up to them. There's a couple of different options that they could have, but we want to see an expulsion vote, and we want to see him expelled. McCarthy didn't respond to ABC News when asked about the resolution as he was leaving the Capitol for his White House meeting on the debt ceiling. Representative Nancy Mace told ABC News that she wants to look at precedent before deciding. Bro, really? Whatever. This is bullshit. I want to look at precedent and history of and how it's been done in the past and for what reasons. Well, I don't know, man. If you're like a fucking fraudster, I don't know. If you're literally lying to the House, which is part of the charges, I mean, okay, whatever. Ethics and principles be damned, I guess. Whatever delays the process, exactly. I just want to have that information before I make the decision. I also want to make sure that an individual that's getting expelled has due process. Good memes. Right, just delaying the inevitable. Good memes. We'll see what happens with this. Since when has any GOP ever wanted information before making a decision? They don't. It's bullshit. You're right. They don't care. It's bullshit. It's theater. It's theater. This one I did happen to see, Alio, so we're gonna go over this this story here. So thank you for bringing this story. The GOP proposal to raise the debt ceiling would force Americans on Social Security and Medicare to wait longer to help and make college more expensive. In a memo, Shalanda Young, Director of Office Management and Budget, breaks down the math on Republicans' desired funding levels. The GOP's latest line on spending is that it wants to maintain the same funding levels as fiscal year 2022. That level of funding is reflected in their narrowly passed House bill to raise the debt ceiling for just 1 year. The bill includes a long list of proposed spending cuts and changes to federal programs, including banning student loan forgiveness. Yep. And raising work requirements to access social welfare programs. Like, just to be clear, it's already difficult enough to access these social welfare programs to the extent that they exist. And furthermore, the fact of the matter that there are working class people who work full-time jobs and are still needing access to social welfare programs is a huge verdict on fucking capitalism and the system that we're currently fucking living under. To apply for SSDI, it can take over 7 years. Yeah, it can. It can take a long time. Hello, YouTube chat. What's poppin'? Well, currently the GOP being ghouls. I mean, but that's not really new, is it? We're working Yep, we only got $23 food stamps after a COVID emergency. Exactly. It's because cruelty is the point. SSI is much worse, and like welfare demands the money back within a month. Yikes. Like these welfare to the extent that they even like exist, these welfare programs are incredibly difficult to access, and they force you to be completely destitute to even be eligible. In certain cases, like SNAP programs and whatnot, you are probably working full time. The statistic, Jesus, the statistic, which I imagine probably has changed, but for the worse. The statistic is like 40% of like Walmart workers are on food stamps. Full-time employees. So the fact that these ghouls want to make it even harder and attempt to kneecap these programs is fucking cruel, because that's the point. Okay? That's the point, because when these people do this shit, if conservatives, like, just to play out the scenario that conservatives want, if this plays out, it's going to kneecap all these programs, again, to the extent that they even exist. And then they can turn back when they start to fail, because it's already as bad as it is. It's going to get worse. They're going to turn back and then have the fucking gall to say, look, the programs don't work. While Young noted that the GOP bill doesn't include a line-by-line breakdown of exactly how cuts would be implemented, she lays out a few scenarios. If Republicans leave defense funding, veteran affairs, and homeland security untouched, everything else would have to be cut by 30%. Jesus Christ! Take that into take a moment to fucking swallow that one, to digest that one. There are rules and most people do not get away even with 13% fraud. Again, people can be convicted of fraud. Yeah, like, even if, I don't really give a shit if, like, there is a certain amount of fraud, because I understand that there will be. I don't even give a shit. The point is that to the extent that these exist, some people literally need this. So I don't care about the fraud. That could mean people waiting for disability benefits through Social Security might face wait times of at least 2 months longer. And those seeking help through Social Security and Medicare offices could experience worse customer service. Yeah, again, that's exactly the point right there. That's exactly the point right there, so that they can then turn around when people, I guess, have people have forgotten, so that they can turn around and say, look, this doesn't work. Because these people are fucking cruel. Republicans are fucking cruel. Additionally, cuts could mean less funding for affordable housing vouchers and the maximum Pell Grant award going down by nearly 1,400. House Republicans can do this math as well as anyone. They're absolutely aware of these calculations. Of course, because it's on purpose. They're disgusting and the Dems aren't even calling them out. Correct. GOP joke, government does not work. Elect me and I'll prove it. Womp womp. They are working, just not for us. Government does not work, so elect me to government to prove it. What? That's what I never understood. Like that whole like libertarian like conservative mantra. Government is the problem, so elect me. Okay. Even in a scenario where defense spending remains untouched, but everything else, including spending on veterans and homeland security, stays on the table, the remaining programs would have to contend with the 20% cut. And if the GOP wants to include cuts to all programs, even the military, just bringing spending down to fiscal year 2022 levels across the board would mean a 9% cut. So even then, those cuts would be incredibly damaging, self-defeating, and unpopular. Just remember, folks, and make sure that you keep ahead of this, because they're going to try to paint this, if, like, just playing off the scenario that they actually get this done. They're going to try to punt this on the Democrats. They're going to try to punt this on the Democrats. They're going to try to later, again, this is assuming that they get what they want, playing out that scenario. They're going to then turn back and look, and they're going to turn back and say, none of these programs work. Look how inefficient they are. Look how slow they are. The services aren't even working. To do away with them. Or to suggest even more cuts. Or let them sunset out. Young notes that the calculations are likely optimistic, saying it's unlikely that Republicans can find cuts that deep in the bills they're currently looking over, meaning instead everything else will suffer a deeper slash. Globus the Elder, welcome. This memo comes as the same day President Biden is set to meet with the Speaker of the House, McCarthy, and Senate Majority Leader Schumer, Senate Minority Leader McConnell, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries for the second time in an attempt to come to an agreement on raising the debt ceiling. The top congressional leaders first met with the president last week, and since then, their staffers have been engaging in discussion over the past week to come to a closer deal before the U.S. defaults. And, like, again, if this does happen, you know, it's currently a political football that's being used, but it's going to affect a lot of people. And literally threatening to torpedo the economy for the sake of owning the libs or whatever. Mike Lee and House Speaker admit they want to sunset Medicare and Social. Yeah, this is not surprising at all. I'm not surprising. But to sell that idea, you have to handicap it. To sell that idea, you have to handicap it, and then to try to, you know, sell it to the people and say, look, it doesn't work. The top congressional leaders first met with the president last week, and since then, their staffers have been engaging in discussions over the past week to come to a closer deal before the U.S. defaults, which Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said it could happen as early as June. While Biden expressed optimism to reporters on Sunday with the direction of the discussions were headed, though McCarthy did not express that same confidence. It doesn't seem to me that they want. Doesn't seem to me yet that they want a deal. It just seems like they want to look like they're in a meeting, but they aren't actually taking any. They aren't talking anything serious. If you look at the timeline to pass something in the House and pass something in the Senate, you've got to do something. You got to get something done by this weekend. And we are nowhere near any of that. As Yellen warned McCarthy in her Monday letter, failure to raise the debt ceiling on time would be catastrophic for Americans. It would cause severe hardship to American families, harm our global leadership position, I mean, that's like the least of my concerns. But whatever. Raise the question about ability to defend our national security interests. I don't even know what that means. But whatever. TLDR, this is going to have significant impacts on us, and it will be the Republicans' fault. It will be. It will be. True. All right. True. Conscious Canuck. I like that. Switching gears. Sort of a meme story. Sort of. But not really. It's incredibly disturbing if you think about it. Rudy Giuliani accused of offering to sell Trump pardons for $2 million each. Yep. We kind of briefly touched on this, but here's the article. A woman who said she worked for Rudy Giuliani during the last 2 years of the Trump administration alleged in a wide-ranging lawsuit that the former president's personal attorney discussed selling presidential pardons and detailed the plans to overturn the 2020 election result. In the 70-page complaint filed in New York on Monday, Noelle Dunphy said that after she was hired by Giuliani, in January of 2019, he sexually assaulted and harassed her, refused to pay her wages, and often made sexist and racist and anti-Semitic remarks, adding that he had recordings of numerous interactions with them. And none of this is surprising. He's a Republican, and he works for Trump. I mean, that's it. Dunphy, seeking $10 million in compensatory and punitive damages, said that Giuliani had hired her for $1 million a year in addition to expenses and pro bono legal representation for domestic abuse case against a former partner. But after she was hired, Dunphy alleged Giuliani kept her employment secret and only paid her approximately $12,000 and reimbursed some of her business expenses, owing her $1,988,000 in unpaid wages. She was fired in January of 2021. Who are the groomers again? Oh, always Republicans. Always Republicans. Whenever you hear an accusation of, like whenever you see those cringy ass like Twitter people saying "okay groomer," chances are the FBI should be looking at their computer. Yeah. It never fails with these people. True. Giuliani has denied the allegations in the lawsuit through a spokesperson. I mean, like, there's a whole other aspect of this with regards to like sexual harassment and whatnot, which again, no surprise coming from Giuliani, who's a Republican, and also Trump's like former personal attorney. No surprise, like, wow, another Republican being caught making racist and sexist anti-Semitic remarks? Oh no, wow, it must be a day ending in Y. Another Republican being accused of alleged like sexual harassment? Wow, it must be another a day that ends in Y. Anyone they don't like is a groomer. Yes, but specifically they use that as a bludgeon, as a stochastic call to action against LGBTQ people. Like, that's very specific to target LGBTQ people. That's been like a trope. You know, the gays, gay men are grooming kids. Like, this has been going on for decades. It's on purpose because the worst thing that you can be branded as is a child predator. Okay, a child groomer. which is the implication when they do that. And that's specifically targeting the LGBTQ community. Nowadays, it's like even more specific to like the trans community. They specifically do this, and they call people, they call trans people groomers, they call gay people groomers on purpose because they want to justify in some twisted moral fucking sense murder against these people. Because they want to set the faulty base, the faulty twisted moral base for killing them. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Says the party of daddy-daughter balls. Yeah, true. 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 What is this? Is there a video? Oh, come on. There's no video? Marjorie Taylor Greene freaks out during a Homeland Security hearing on, quote, left-wing violence after an expert witness laughs in her face. The interaction began with Greene howling about George Soros-funded protests, which is the Republicans' favorite anti... Yeah, like, make no mistake, you never hear about, like... You never hear about, like, Coke-funded protest. Like, that doesn't exist. Coke-funded protests. Like, that doesn't exist. There's a reason why they specifically use George Soros. It's because he's fucking Jewish, okay? Make no mistake about it. The only the differentiating characteristic here, the only one they're interested in, Republicans, it's because he's Jewish. That's it. That's it. Right, correct, NK. Correct. That's exactly Republican logic. 101 right there. She went on to claim that real white supremacy in America is coming from the Democrats. True, dude. Damn, bro. Amazing. Amazing. Real white supremacy in America. Real white supremacy in America is actually the Democrats. True. True. Because the Democrats who support abortion because 20 million black babies have been aborted since Roe v. Wade. Excellent meme. Amazing. Amazing. First of all, no, because they're not people. Like if you have an abortion, that's not a person. But yeah, I mean, like, seriously, the amount of pretzel twisting necessary to say, like, yes, the real white supremacy is coming from Democrats. True. As she unleashed a deranged stream of far-right talking points, executive director of Integrity First for America, Amy Spittlenick, started laughing at the absurdity. Is it funny to you? Is babies being murdered? No, like, dude, babies being murdered in the womb. Yeah, dude, they're going in there and they're just murdering the babies. Fucking clown. Every single person should do this. What's not funny are the black people and Hispanic people and Jewish people and Muslim people who have been murdered in synagogues and churches and supermarkets and mosques by white supremacists. Right, like, make no mistake, no matter what anybody fucking tells you, okay? No matter what anybody tells you. The reality is, and you can check this, it's not that hard to fucking fact check this shit. The overwhelming domestic terrorist threat, the most lethal and persistent threat in terms of domestic terrorism is fucking white supremacists. This is not Joe Biden's Homeland Security that said that. This is Trump's Homeland Security reports. This is Trump's FBI reports. Which, by the way, Wolf at the time was the director, acting director, because, you know, that's how fucking things worked under Trump. Revolving doors of acting, whatever. But yeah, Chad Wolf, I think, was his name. Sorry, Chad Wolf was his name. Even attempted to downplay that, and still, even the doctored, the most charitable report, still put them at the top of the list in terms of the most lethal and persistent threat when it came to domestic terrorists. Were the fucking white supremacists. So please, fucking spare me with this bullshit. Soros' Rolodex must occupy a whole tower in Manhattan if he has that many contacts. If they do this whole culture war thing to stop any talk of class, and Republicans eat it up because it gives them an excuse to hate and put them above others, since they know that I don't know. I think it's the opposite. I think that they're just literally fucking cruel, and they think that they're cruel, and they think that they're gonna be the ones on top, when that's not. It's not how that works. You really think that these fucking oligarchs, that this massive wealth inequality, is gonna end up favoring you, the worker, because you decided that your hate and bigotry are more important? Good memes. I do agree they are being played like fiddles. Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone checked my biology, but a baby is not a baby until it's born, right? I mean, if you ask that a Republican, I mean, literally cells are basically human beings to them. A zygote is the equivalent of a human being. Remember that argument we had with this very, very big-brained individual that decided to come in chat and tried to make the argument that a fertilized egg, a zygote, is a baby? And his argument, or his line of logic was, and I kid you not, because they had human cells, because it was the first step of the creation of a person, therefore it is. You know, like how we refer to eggs as chickens. So when I have scrambled chicken, I guess, is what I would say. I guess instead of saying scrambled eggs, we're having scrambled chicken. Or fried chicken makes sense. But yeah, scrambled chicken, I guess. According to Republicans, I'm murdering a shit ton of babies every time I watch hentai. True. Wait a second. Panda Man, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If abortion is murder, a blowjob is cannibalism. True! That's how it works. I don't make the rules. Go fuck yourself, piece of shit. Nice try. Go educate yourself. Yeah, fuck you. It's Panda Man. He trolls the Politivia podcast I go on once a week. Yeah, nah, not here. not here. Like, understand that if you're a troll, you're not gonna have a good time here, okay? Because A, you're not gonna last about 5 seconds, or B, if I feel like if I feel like playing with my food, you're just gonna get repeatedly dunked on here. So there's no point. There's no point in trolls showing up here, okay? Because either if I'm not feeling up for, if I'm not feeling in the mood, I'll just fucking ban you, so you won't even get a chance, okay? You won't even get a chance. There's no point in coming here to be a troll. Or two, you're just gonna get here, sit here and get dunked on, depending on my mood. Point being, trolls are just not. It's just a bad deal. Okay, do everybody a favor, save your time, and go fucking somewhere else. It's that simple. Misspelling them on my phone, just ask for Twitch, no problem. I messed up. I messed up the keyboard on my phone, and for some reason, like I don't know how. I know this is like a boomer moment, but I promise I'm not a boomer. Okay, I'm actually more or less pretty adept at like maneuvering technology, but I don't know how I managed to switch the keyboard on my phone to like the Microsoft keyboard, and now I can't do like a bunch of things that I was able to do with the other keyboard. So yeah, completely understood. Anyways, good memes. AD is a progressive authoritarian. True. True. I'm the benevolent king, okay? That's the difference between me and the other kings, okay? I'm the benevolent king. I want to get your opinion on ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is pretty good. I mean, it's a step better than what we have. Ranked choice voting is a way. It's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for attempting to kind of drive a wedge and ply this kind of cemented two-party system. So it's definitely a step in a better direction than the current, shenanigans that we have. And single-family zoning laws, because Washington has been focusing on that lately. Now, if Washington State could stop fucking either with my rights, it would be perfect. Is Washington State Democratic or is Washington State Republican? I should know this. Hold on. Blue? Gotcha. Shame on them if that's the case. But yeah, ranked choice voting is an excellent vehicle. Ranked choice voting is an excellent vehicle to attempt to move in a better direction. Very lip, gotcha. They're pushing for ranked choice voting statewide and trying to phase out single-family zoning. What is the implication of doing that? I mean, like, yeah, ranked choice voting is fine. Which is great, but then do crazy things like pass the worst gun ban ever. The worst gun ban ever. What do you mean by that? I just pity anyone who lives within 100 miles of Idaho. Gotcha. Honestly, coming from Florida, I mean, I don't know. Here's a story, kind of like the culmination. I could send a video that's not just bikes about what? About why single family zonings is bad. Okay, I could send you a video that not just bikes did about why single family zoning is bad. No, I mean you could give me the TLDR, just kind of have an understanding of that. Dallas police. Okay, so the point of prefacing this, this is the culmination. When you hear when you hear conservatives and right wingers talk about traditional family values, when you hear them talk about traditional family values, when you kind of like mull over the situation, with regards to like, I don't know, take for example the Steven Crowder abuse incident. I mean, like we can kind of see, we can kind of get a picture of what conservatives mean by traditional family values. And this is the culmination of this. So police say that man shot and killed 26-year-old girlfriend for having an abortion. Or another way of putting it, man decides to kill his girlfriend for making a decision about her own body. Because he got big mad. And couldn't stand, I guess, the idea that she made a choice about her own body. So, yeah. LA, Portland, and Minneapolis eliminated single-family house only zoning, which is good. Gotcha. A 22-year-old, because girlfriends are property and they deserve to be executed for getting a medical procedure? Correct. According to conservative traditional values, understand that this is exactly how they feel. This is exactly how they feel. Basically, 80% of areas like Seattle are designated single-family homes, which is basically only allows suburban-type housing. Getting rid of it would allow townhomes, duplexes, and tiny homes, and allow walkable cities with grocery. Okay, so that's good, though. That's actually good, though. Yeah, very good. Okay, cool. Okay, I understand now. All right, cool. Yeah, thumbs up. Around 7:40 a.m. on May 10th, police responded to a shooting call outside the Church's Chicken on Walker Boulevard. When officers arrived, they found 26-year-old Gabriela Gonzalez dead from multiple gunshot wounds. Multiple gunshot wounds. During their investigation, police determined that Gonzalez had been in an argument with her boyfriend, Harold Thompson, prior to the shooting. Nearby surveillance video captured Thompson walking with Gonzalez before attempting to put her in a chokehold. A pregnant woman. Yeah. And then he shrugged Thompson off and they kept walking. As they continued to walk in the parking lot, Thompson pulled out a firearm and shot Gonzalez once in the head. Jesus Christ. Okay, so yeah, holy shit. This yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna skip that. Holy yikes. Further investigation revealed that Gonzalez went to Colorado to get an abortion and returned just the night before. They believe Thompson was the father of the child that did not want Gonzalez to have that procedure. He has since been arrested and charged with, fucking murder. Yeah. So he basically couldn't handle the fact that his girlfriend had a medical procedure because she chose to do that because it's her fucking body. And I guess couldn't handle. He's so fucking fragile. He was so fucking fragile that he couldn't handle her making a decision without his input. Guaranteed, since this guy was 22, guaranteed that this dude was like some kind of fucking like Andrew Tate motherfucker follower. I would bet money on that. Huge gun laws is an emergency health thing which prevented it from being voted on. They made it so almost impossible to get AC in new buildings despite only getting hotter here. They also really effed up right to repair laws this year. That's messed up. That's messed up. Unfortunately, given the outcome, she made the right choice. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, dude. If somebody wants to do this with their own body, like, who the fuck are you to say no? Like, who is this person? Who is this person? To say, like, no, you can't have, you can't have a choice in what you do with your body. Something that will, like, basically change you forever? Nah, dude. I have to make that ultimate decision. What do you... Wow, dude. Yeah, every average right-wing media consumer description. So effing fragile. True. True. Emperor of his own universe. Correct. Oh, left-wing media is so fragile, works both ways. No, it really doesn't hit the same. It really doesn't hit the same. It really doesn't. I mean, you could try. You can try to perform. No, it really doesn't. You can try to perform like Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to make it so, to will it into existence. It doesn't really make it so, my friend. It doesn't really make it so. Doesn't really make it so. Anyways, point being is that, you know, incredibly fragile men. Left-wing, I'm angry, my feelings. Really? Is that the caricature? Is that the caricature you're making? Which by the way, what do you mean by left-wing media? And right-wing media is I'm angry, my feelings. No, that's actually the right-wing media. That's an actual accurate description because that's literally what they do. You see, the difference is, no, it's not. So then can you provide an example? There are more than a few fragile the leftists too. The difference is scope and scale. Correct. Correct. I'm asking to see if we can even get like to the idea of what you're talking about. Both are sad people fighting over nothing. I don't know, man. I think fighting for the right for people to choose what they can and can't do with their bodies, I think it's not nothing. The fact that you can't even like imagine, like get to that conclusion is incredibly telling. Is incredibly telling. The fact that like we have there's only one side doing this, doing shit like this. I mean, I don't know, man. Imagine like reading, Yeah, there is a huge difference. Imagine reading shit like, ah, yes, Florida is literally investigating teachers who show a Disney movie. Yep. Same thing. Ah, yes, Republicans are passing laws that are actively stripping away rights. Same thing. No difference. Fucking clown logic, dude. Clown fucking logic. No, you're just saying you're right. You see, that's the difference. You're saying you're right, but that doesn't make it so. I'm actually providing you with examples. Also, oh yeah, then you can go fuck off. You have no, like, fuck off. You don't know what you're talking about. Fuck off. Leftist fragile media. Are avocados sexist? I mean, I bet there are people who think this way. I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Like, I'm sure you could find, like, an example here and there, but, like, if I point to that example and it's, like, a fucking, like, 100 follower Andy, I mean, like, I don't know, man. This isn't exactly the you know, universal belief of, like, how the leftists, to the extent that we have leftist media and independent media and stuff like that, like, that's not really what lefties are talking about. Like, that isn't to discount that it happens. I'm saying that it's not even comparable. And usually when I ask for examples like that, I get, like, the most minimal, like, one person made a tweet, and then when you look at them, it's like a 50 follower Andy making, like, a cringy tweet one time. Like, I don't know. It's just like there are about 4 orders of magnitude difference between number of fragile left-wing to fragile right-wing people. Yeah, and, like, I don't know what you mean by fragile. Like, fragile meaning, like, emotionally fragile? Yeah, fine. There's emotionally fragile people everywhere. It doesn't discount, like, this difference, like you said, in scope and scale. And furthermore, like Anok pointed out, the difference is when right-wing people decide to flip out, people lose their lives. You have stories like this. You have stories of women waiting outside hospitals until they fucking crash to be admitted for a abortion procedure. I mean, like, dude, fuck off. And the audacity, the gall to say then, like, oh, I'm from Australia, so we just all view. Fuck off. Fuck off. This explains it. Okay. I said again, Republican. Yeah. All right. So here is an important story that should be ringing massive alarm bells. Florida is investigating a teacher who showed a Disney movie with a gay character. Yep. A Florida teacher is under investigation by the state's Department of Education after she showed her students a Disney movie that featured a gay character. Jenna Barbie, who teaches 5th grade at Hernando County School District, says a student's mother lodged a complaint with education officials after Barbie showed the film Strange World in her classroom. Barbie said the movie's focus on human relationships to the environment, which is why she chose to show it to her class after a lesson on ecosystems, plants, and animals. That would be about, like, as appropriate as showing, like, I don't know, Fern Gully after you make a lesson on ecosystems, plants, and animals, okay? She chose a Disney movie. Who gets banned from Riverboat Jack? They're tough as nails. Yeah, like she's phenomenal. But this person got not only did they get banned from Riverboat Jack, but also Tina. Fern Gully, yes. Everyone should watch Fern Gully. That should be like required watching. Who gets banned from 20 channels? People who go around trying to collect their ban badges. All right. Whatever. I've got like 10 minutes to go through this story, so I'm not gonna sit here and entertain fucking clowns today. I've seen Tina ban people. Yeah, she does, but not like it's not like the first immediate like thing. It takes a couple. You have to really try her, to get banned. You know, all this makes me feel like the North didn't go far enough. If we didn't pull out early in the Reconstruction, maybe these deep red states could have been better. There's a thought. Sam interviewed an author yesterday on Majority Report who addressed this issue. That's one of the things that they might have helped. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. She said a subplot, not even like the main theme of the movie, because in her eyes, she's trying to talk about ecosystem. Like, again, teachers are literally just trying to fucking teach, okay? Teachers are literally just trying to fucking teach. Her mind, this teacher's mind, was like playing a movie that had to do with the theme of the lesson, which was, you know, ecosystems, plants, and animals. She wasn't thinking about whether or not, like, oh, there was a gay character, or whether or not, like, this had... She wasn't thinking about that. You know who thinks about that? The fucking Republicans, the conservatives. Which I ask, why? That's kind of strange. James Napper, how's it going? I mean, the weird thing about this is if you contrast it with the bill about medical professionals, like, it does show the instance where one group are enabled to express their freedom while the other is not and investigated. Correct, because that's the point. There's a part at the bottom of the SB 1580 that explicitly says that it was looking to prevent medical professionals from being shunned from certain behaviors. Correct. We went over that bill that basically is designed to deny health services. Deny health services, and it also covers insurance companies, so they can deny you coverage as long as it's written in their profile or whatever in their policy. So not only can you get fucked if your insurance company decides that it's probably beneficial for us if we do this X move since it's legal now, we're just gonna cut costs or cut corners here. And then you get shafted out of a coverage, but then you may also have to contend with the fact that maybe even the doctor, nurses, ambulance, which are all listed under that bill, may not render you treatment under any of these dubious fucking clauses. As someone becoming a teacher, my contract will also be abroad. I had 5 friends become teachers here, and only 1 is left. A horrible environment. That will only get worse with time. True. Also, this parent didn't sign. Also, didn't this parent sign a document allowing them to be watching, to be able to watch movies? Probably, but because as soon as they found out that there was a gay character, they immediately flipped out. Also, they didn't. Yes, she wasn't subjecting them to propaganda. No, she wasn't. Like, that's the thing. Like, she's a teacher. She was trying to think about like a movie that's appropriate for children. I know, Disney. Disney movies. Great, excellent. That had to do with the theme that she was trying to teach about. From what I heard, the parent was the one on the school board. Gotcha. No movies about gays. Can't figure out how those bros got out of their free time. Yep. She got permission slips. Gotcha. DeSantis making Florida into the 1950s, people will leave? No. Nope. first of all, it's very hard to move. And second of all, like, yeah, this is not changing until. Although Florida's gonna turn blue one way or another. Give it a couple decades, if you catch my drift. She said a subplot about a boy having a crush on another boy never crossed her mind before screening the film. It talks about love to all things, and that's literally what this movie represents. I find it interesting that now I'm getting in trouble for a similar topic. Strange World, a PG-rated movie, was released last year. It features actors like Jake Gyllenhaal, Gabriel Union, among others, and tells the story of 3 generations of a family exploring dangerous land beneath their world. Karen Jordan, a spokesperson for Hernando County District, confirmed to NPR in an email that both district and state are investigating the matter. She said that Hernando County School District sent a note to parents of the children in the class informing them that their children had been shown the film. What the fuck? Like, how creepy and how fucking, like, dystopic that is that? How creepy and dystopic is that? DeSantis is turning Florida into a statewide authoritarian re-education camp. Yes, and this is exactly why he's more dangerous than fucking Trump. Every time I hear stories like this, it just reminds you of Parks and Rec episode where Leslie accidentally married 2 male penguins. Learned the lessons well at Gitmo, yep. And this is why he's more scarier than fucking Trump. Can you imagine this guy being the president? Can you imagine this guy being the president? How fucking dystopic is this shit that, like, the rest of the fucking parents had to be informed that the Disney fucking movie had a gay character. Holy shit. While not the main plot of the movie, parts of the story involves a male character having and expressing feelings for another male character. The note reads in part, in the future, this movie will not be shown. A Disney movie, folks. A PG Disney movie. I just wanted Andrew Yang or Bernie. Yeah, Yang's kind of a clown, though. Yeah, Yang ended up being a fucking clown. Like, he was suspect from the beginning, but, like, yeah, I don't know if you've seen what he's been up to, but Yang is a fucking clown. Right now, like, the way things are shaping up in terms of, like, 2024, it's basically going to be Trump or Biden. When asked why the district would no longer show Strange World, Jordan said there is a school board policy that guides the use of movies in classrooms and that the movie may violate Florida's Parental Bill of Rights, a law signed by Republican Governor DeSantis last year. The law, which critics have dubbed the Don't Say Gay law, bars classroom instruction related to sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grade. In April, they approved this expansion to of the ban to all grades. So again, like, do you think that this is going to be used to ban, like, movies that have any, like, heterosexual? Because it turns out heterosexual is a sexual orientation. I know. Do you think that that's going to be used if a teacher shows a movie like, I don't know, Pocahontas or fucking, what is another Disney movie? Cinderella, where there's definitely media showing heterosexual where there's heterosexual relationship between Cinderella and the prince, because that's sexual orientation. You can't show that. Yeah, you can't show Mulan either. You can't show Mulan because she decided to dress up as a man, and I think, didn't she have feelings for that general? Oh shoot, I forget. I haven't seen this since I was like a kid. Okay, didn't she have feelings for the general, for the commander? She did, or I think he had them first. Gotcha. Gotcha. See, that's an orientation too. So yep. Aladdin, Genie's pretty much everything on the spectrum. True. Aladdin's relationship with Princess Jasmine, that's sexual orientation. That's heterosexual. So that can't be shown, right? Right? And do you think that the same investigative process is going to be used on somebody, on a teacher who shows Aladdin? No. DeSantis has been targeting curriculum and diversity programs in public schools and colleges. He's attacked as woke indoctrination. Casey Palate, whatever, press secretary of Department of Education, Florida Department of Education, i.e. the Ministry of Truth, said in an email to NPR that the department couldn't confirm or deny whether Barbie's under investigation, and pointed to the state's legal process for investigating complaints against... Bro. Why, like, what fucking cowards, dude? Just say, like, yeah, out with it. Say, yeah, she is under investigation. The name Ministry of Truth is so dystopic. Yeah, it's literally this. Dystopian, sorry. Yeah, it's literally this. These people talk, these people use doublespeak all the time. The whole point, or the whole game plan is to doublespeak the entire time. I don't know, a dude kissing Sleeping Beauty in her sleep would be kind of creepy. True. Doublespeak comes from projecting blame and co-opting victimhood. Yeah, that's exactly it. Did you see the news article of Spanish speakers being stopped at the border by the border patrol for speaking Spanish? Not surprising. Not surprising. Not surprising. There have been literally like indigenous people who have been deported because these fucking like racist pieces of shit thought they were Hispanic and deported them to a country they've never been. So it wouldn't surprise me. I do wonder why DeSantis is ordering what politics to endorse. Politicians to endorse? Or what politics to endorse? Doublespeak, yes, it comes from projection because their insecurities are what's behind the whole thing. The issue came into public view after one of Barbie's colleagues tweeted a photo of the letter Barbie received from a state education official informing that she was under investigation. imagine being deported from that you've been on even before European invasion. Yeah, like imagine that, because some fucking like racist pieces of shit, some racist piece of shit thought that like you looked Hispanic, but you're indigenous, and then like, you know, put you on a fucking plane in a country you've never been to, speaking a language you've never spoken. Barbie also posted a video on TikTok explaining her situation, saying investigators have been interviewing students about the matter. In an interview with NPR, she noted that Strange World also depicts a heterosexual couple kissing, but said that the only same-sex crush was subject to the parents' complaint. Oh, there it is, folks. Damn. I mean, if that doesn't give away, like, if that isn't as blatant as possible, folks. If that wasn't as blatant as possible, as, I mean, I don't know. Because this movie had, violated that sexual orientation law, because there are two a heterosexual couple kissing. But the problem wasn't that. The problem was that there was a same-sex crush in the movie. That was the problem. I mean, if it isn't as blatant, like, these people want you fucking gone. If you're LGBTQ plus, they want you fucking gone. They want you dead. And this is like that's the whole point. Because again, you think that they're gonna that the problem here was the heterosexual orientation? No. I don't understand immigration hate. Literally everyone in the U.S. can trace their heritage to immigrants within 1 to 3 generations. Yeah, well, that's the point. It's hate. That's it. It's just hate and bigotry. It's really that simple. It's hate and bigotry and xenophobia that caused by insecurities that can't be overcome. And the right wing like propaganda machine takes advantage of this and tells these people what the next week's outrage is supposed to be. Quote, you don't get to pick and choose which things you want and which things you don't. The issue with our school, that's the issue with our school system today. It's an ongoing battle of everybody getting to push what they believe, right? Meanwhile, this teacher was just trying to do like what teachers do, which is show a fucking movie that may have relevance to the lesson plan. But yeah. Alio with the 10 biddies. Thank you so much. All right, folks, we made it. We made it just in time. Cool. Yeah, so understand that this is what is going to happen if Republicans win power. Understand that the severity of the situation if Republicans win power. Investigating a teacher, a citizen, yeah, for a law that they passed, specifically for this purpose. If that isn't dystopic and raising any amount of red flags, I don't know what is. And the reason why it's called the Don't Say Gay bill is because that's the point. The problem with the movie wasn't the heterosexual couple kissing, showing a kiss between two heterosexual people. That wasn't the problem. The problem was depicting a crush. Two gay characters depicting a crush. That was the issue. Time to ban National Geographic because there's 500 species show sign of homosexuality. Yep. They'll make an example out of them. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. All right, folks. Unfortunately, I do got to get going. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you all in chat. Thank you, Michael Haster, for keeping the peace in the chat. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Thank you to Levelhead for giving an offline follow. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, not an offline follow, for an offline shout out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are what makes this channel grow. If you guys want to support the channel and cannot do it monetarily, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. It really does help us out, as 228 of you have already done. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. As always, folks, we are here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, thank you guys so much. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.